Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, Lilith's tank is looking really empty. Well, fun news, Lilith doesn't live in that tank anymore. She actually has a new one that's a lot bigger that is on the floor down there. Can you see it? No, you cannot, but it's on the floor down there. There's her humidifier. Anyway, so basically this video isn't about Lilith. I know, the channel is called Sammy and Lilith. Who is this video about? Well, I have a new snake named Butterscotch. So I've had Butterscotch for about 3 weeks now. He is an albino male ball python. He's also het for the piebald gene, which means he has some fun genetics going on. And basically, today's video, I'm going to show you his quarantine setup, and I'm going to be feeding him. So before the clip of him eating is put up, I will put a warning. So if you are more sensitive or kind of squeamish, he will be eating a frozen thawed medium mouse. So if you just don't want to watch that, then I would skip that section, and I'll try to put a timestamp of where to skip to when that warning comes up. So I'm going to be showing you his quarantine setup before he eats, because I don't have rat hands right now. And I know he's hungry because he's been a lot more active recently, and he's also a younger snake, so he's more used to eating about every week and a half, and it's been about 3 weeks since the last time he's had a meal. So I'm pretty sure he's probably pretty hungry. So his quarantine setup is not anything too glamorous. It's basically just the bare necessities, just until I know he's 100% healthy. He is going to be in quarantine for about another week or two, and then he'll be moved into Lilith's old tank after I vacuum out the old substrate in there. And he will live in here with me and Lilith. So for now, he's living in my older sister's old room. So I'm just going to be going over what I have in his quarantine bin and things like that. I've been mentioning that Butterscotch is in quarantine a lot through this video. So when you think of quarantine, you usually think of sick. Well, this does not mean that Butterscotch is sick. It just means he could be. So let me explain what quarantine is. So if you are new to reptiles, or you only have one, then you probably have never quarantined, well, probably, you might have not ever quarantined a reptile before. So when bringing in a new reptile into an already reptile housing place, you need to keep the other reptiles separated from your current one for at least 30 days, depending on the species. For ball pythons, I usually would say 30 days. With Butterscotch, I'm going to go play it safe and do a little bit longer, just so Lilith stays healthy, since she's a bit older than him. So quarantine is basically just separating a new snake from an already owned snake to prevent the spreading of any airborne diseases, parasites, mites, any sicknesses between the two snakes. So Butterscotch is quarantined on the other side of the house in a completely different room, and I use separate materials for both of them. So if I'm going to handle Butterscotch, I only handle Butterscotch after I'm done handling Lilith for the day, because I know Lilith isn't sick, so I know she can't get Butterscotch sick. But if it's the other way around and I handle Lilith after Butterscotch could get her sick, because from what I've seen, it doesn't seem like he has anything wrong, but you can never know for sure, because sometimes things lie dormant for a while and they pop out later on. I have been giving Butterscotch one good physical at least every week, just checking him out, checking for mites in his chin fold, and he does seem to be doing pretty good. But this is really just a safety precaution to keep both animals healthy and keep animals that you've had longer in a safe position. So sometimes breeders will send you an animal that aren't sick, and they can get sick in overnight shipping. Sometimes they can get mites during shipping if they're being shipped with other reptiles. It really just depends on the circumstances. So sometimes before a breeder is shipping you an animal, you see a picture and they look perfectly healthy, but then you get the animal and it's not quite the way it was in the picture. Of course, in that circumstance, I would always message the breeder and be like, hey, what's up? And just explain the situation for them, because it could have really just been something going wrong in shipping. So basically, in this very short explanation, what I'm saying is Quarantine is basically keeping a reptile separated from a new one to keep the already owned reptile healthy and to make sure diseases don't spread between the two. So a good example of this is that right now, in areas where the coronavirus has spread, this isn't to spread hysteria or anything, and honestly, I'm not super worried about it. I'm not a very disease-worried person. Anyway, so people that get the virus are kept, their cities or towns are kept in a quarantine where they stay within that city or town, so if they have it and they leave, they're not going to get other people sick. So that's very similar to this situation. So if you're getting two animals from the same breeder, you can have them quarantined in the same area because they are from the same place. So if they have anything, chances are they already both have it. So it's just to make sure they don't spread it to this other animal that is already owned. I keep gesturing back here. You guys can't see Lilith, but she is back here, as I said earlier. So anyways, I just wanted to give a brief explanation of that in case you were confused and you were like, well, what's quarantine? So there you are. So let's go head over and see what Butterscotch is up to. Okay, so I'm currently laying in bed editing right now, but I realized I didn't really explain a lot of why he has certain things in quarantine. So in quarantine, he has like a little guinea pig castle instead of an actual snake hide. This isn't dangerous. I cleaned it up for him. The only problem is it's translucent, so he doesn't really like it that much. But that is because he soiled his old one to a point beyond repair. Like, it was nasty and gross, and no matter how much chlorhexidine I used, it was just not going to be clean ever. And I needed a cheap, quick solution. So my cheap, quick solution was that. That's all I could do. It's all the money I had. Everything I could afford was that. I had a friend help me pay for it, and it was only like $5. Like, that's where I was at. And basically, he has paper towels because it's easier to spot mites on paper towels than substrate. And yeah, and he has a container for water right now because I haven't bought him a water bowl yet, but that's coming in the mail. So yeah, that's everything. So I'm not going to be opening his bin because Butterscotch was not a very happy camper yesterday, and I'm not trying to stress him out any more than he's already stressed. So this is Butterscotch's quarantine bin. Basically, let me sit in my little chair that I have here. So I have his name written on top. I made a code for all my animals. So like Lilith is 1NF, which is 1 normal female. So Butterscotch would be 1AHP male. So basically, he has a container for a water bowl. This is all temporary setup except for this plant. This plant will move with him. But these two things are temporary. This isn't his permanent setup at all. He has paper towels. He messes them around a lot because he likes to go and sleep under them. This is his temporary hide. It's really just like a little guinea pig castle. But the issue was I had a hide for him, and then he soiled it really bad, like to the point where I could not wash it at all. Like, it was just terrible. So I feel bad because he has that, but I couldn't find any good sized boxes for him. So this is what he has right now. He has this big plant here, which was in Lilith's old tank. But then when I moved her in, she got a new plant. So he has her old plant. And then he has a nice container of water. Okay, so basically, Butterscotch's mouse is thawing out right now. So the next clip will be of him eating. Skip to the timestamp shown on the screen if you do not want to watch a snake eat. It can be kind of graphic. And if you're squeamish or if you're a big fan of mice, you're not going to want to watch this. You can do it. You almost got it. Come on. Good boy. So that concludes butterscotch eating. Thank you for watching this video. And if you'd like to see more ball python content, subscribe below and turn on those push notifications. I'm going to be trying to make new videos at least every 1 to 2 weeks. It's very difficult balancing out my school schedule, but I will be trying really hard. If you have any specific ball python questions you would like answered in a video, please comment them below. Thank you, and have a lovely day.